welcome back to our little adventure where some big troubles going on, and we'll be fine. It should be fine, right? Right? It's not gonna be. It's never fine. Where are we going? I don't remember.
Is it just me, or was today's dinner a little low on salt?
I felt that it was seasoned perfectly, so as to bring out the flavor of the ingredients.
Last taste buds are still like a kid's, so if his food isn't rich enough, I bet he doesn't feel like he's eaten anything at all.
Don't make fun of me! We all need salt in order to survive!
He has a point. You do lose stamina if you don't get enough salt in your body.
Yeah, I remember seeing people trying to lick the rocks back in Calaglia.
What? Why would anybody do that?
Sometimes you can find rocks out there that taste salty. They used to say it was because of all the tears we slaves shed.
Most likely, that was actually rock salt that they found. When our provisions ran low, Miguel would often bring some back for us to use. At the time, we used it because it's all we had. But now there's something hearty about rock salt I like. Even more than table salt.
Is it possible, perhaps, to find any rock salt in these parts?
It is. You have to know what you're looking for, but when I find any, I always break some up to refill our supply. The flavor even changes depending on what kind of terrain it comes from. Sometimes I end up collecting more than we need, just in case we like it.
Wow, Kisara's really serious about her salt.
You can always count on Kisara to be earnest. That's why we have to do our part and not add any more to her burden.
I bet the whole of Dan is losing its mind right about now.
And just when we'd finished liberating all the realms. So much for things getting somewhere close to normal.
It's too calculated. As if whoever's behind all this was watching us.
The people of Pelegion seem pretty unfazed given the circumstances.
They've yet to get the full range of their emotions back. Maybe it's for the best. Can you imagine the panic otherwise?
Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to leave, that's for sure.
Whatever Lenegis is planning, it's a fair bet this wedge they've sent down is just the beginning.
Even now, they're stealing away Dana's astral energy as we speak. Come on, we don't have much time.
Something's eating at you again, huh?
I don't know if I would say that. I mean... Actually, I guess I do have one or two things on my mind. My people, we lived in hiding, so we never really experienced the full extent of Renan oppression. Not directly, anyway. After Almadria killed my mother and father, though, I guess that's when I started hating them so much. The Renans, I mean. But then I think of all those people who were born into slavery. The ones who never even got angry in the first place because it was all they ever knew.
I hear you. Every city we've been to, it's the resistance that gets labeled the troublemakers for having the guts to do the right thing.
When it comes down to it, sometimes I wonder which of us really has the better way.
You can't let your anger eat away at you, Rinwell. But then again, losing your parents that way... Hell, who could really blame you for it if you did? I guess what I'm trying to say is... sorry. Hell, it's hard putting this stuff into words.
No, I get it. You're saying that grief and anger are different than hatred. I never thought of it like that. But hearing you say it, it makes sense. Thanks, La.
You're welcome?
Where are these Forland Mountains exactly?
Those are the mountains you encounter if you walk deep enough into the Lavtu marshlands.
I don't remember there being any sort of path like that around there.
It's possible we overlooked something before. It wouldn't hurt to look again.
Wrong button. We're going that way.
Judging by the stench, I'd say the animals at the ranch are all grown now.
Cool. I don't... It's fine. You can stay there. Hello, peace. Oh. Oh, how fun.
Is the blazing sword okay?
A little water's not going to hurt it.
It's not a little water. It's almost completely submerged. But that's okay.
Armored soldiers!
Some of Volron's former guards.
Let's take them out quick before things get messy.
Oh, glory unto Volron!
Lay down your arms, and no one has to get hurt.
Cease and desist.
Traitors like you shall never walk free.
I knew you were stubborn, but you don't have to be so damn dramatic.
Ow.
In here! Let's get you all ready, Wedge! Magic You fight better at a distance. The further away, the better. You and I both.
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that was improving.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Xion actually look pleasant. What's with the hole here? Is that supposed to be their hideout?
It doesn't look like it's freshly dug, whatever it is. Maybe it's the entrance to a path to Cyslodia. Everything all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Let's go.
Questionable at best. Oof.
I don't know when it happened, but we sure are hauling a lot of stuff these days.
I was just thinking the exact same thing. Glad to hear I'm not the only one.
We should probably clear some stuff out. Like our old weapons we're not using anymore. They must be in pretty bad shape by now.
No way. Those are still good as new with a little polishing. If anything, I'd say all our armor is what's weighing us down.
But that armor's also still good once you fix it up. Besides, better to have too much armor than too little. You can trust me on that one.
Well, what about all these dumb old antiques we're lugging around? If we sell those off, that should lighten our load.
Simpletons such as yourself who can't appreciate the true worth of such things is how precious art vanishes from history.
Pretty art's not gonna save you in a fight, man.
Stop it, you guys! This is no time to...
All I really meant to say is, you can tell how much we've been through by everything we're carrying around. Honestly, that's all.
Oh.
My deepest apologies. It appears that I may have rather overreacted.
Yeah, I guess it's only natural we'd have so many souvenirs by now. I might have been out of line too.
I guess all this stuff really is a sign of how far we've come together.
Yeah, every little piece is its own treasure, filled with memories.
The heavens must be smiling.
I always press the wrong button.
Tell me, Alphen, wherever did you learn how to wield a sword?
I was wondering the same thing too, actually. I'm guessing you knew how to fight before you met the Crimson Crows, right?
I used to be a soldier who served a Danon master. I never saw the guy's face, but I still fought for him because he was my employer. Looking back, it wasn't all that different from being a slave.
A Danon master? That must have been before the Renans brought you to Lenegis 300 years ago.
You must fight using real Danon techniques then.
Really? We used to have our own sword arts?
There's a lot of our own history we've lost since the Renans first invaded. It's not all magic and art. I'm sure it includes things like sword styles too. It's incredible and also a little surreal to see those arts still survive after all this time.
Not only that, but I first learned these moves while serving one ruler, only to end up turning my sword on the ruling class altogether. Pretty ironic when you think about it.
I apologize if I dredged up unfortunate memories for you.
Nah, we're good. It's in the past now. All we ever did in those days was stir up trouble.
You're using those skills for a good cause now. It's not all bad.
I suppose this is what people mean when they say that every cloud has its silver lining.
Exactly. He's using those sword skills to make the world better. Could be a lot worse.
True enough. I will stop worrying about mentioning it then. This place is rather gloomy.
Why don't you lighten the mood for us while we're here then?
I'll see what I can do.
Aren't you guys just adorable?
No wonder we couldn't manage to find them. They've been holed up here all this time, hiding.
The remnants of Volron's forces. You think they were planning an ambush on Pelagian?
Possibly. Then again, knowing how blind their devotion is, maybe they were just waiting.
Waiting? For Volron, you mean?
Even though we already defeated him? But yes, I suppose you're right. For these guys, that would just be a technicality. They act more like worshippers than subjects. They're probably still in denial that he was overthrown in the first place.
Either that, or they were biding their time until the next crown contest. Either way, their allegiance is to their lord.
Who they're convinced and expectant will return. So in the meantime, they wait patiently in preparation for the day that he finally does. That's way more than just loyalty. It's no less than total subjugation.
You've noticed it, haven't you?
Notice what?
I'm referring to Shion.
I never thought you, of all people, would come to me about her.
Yes, well, what concerns me has more to do with what machinations may be currently unfolding in secret on Lenegis as we make our way along this tunnel.
And you're saying it's related to Shion in some way?
Perhaps. She believed there was a good possibility that the Renis Alma may free her from her thorns. One would think after losing the Renis Alma, she would be more dismayed, and yet she isn't. Why? There's also the matter of the power that she inherited from...
You heard what she said. She didn't know about the Maiden's power.
Mere ignorance does not preclude her deep connection to the events unfolding around us. You recall when her thorns went rampant in Castle Delpharis. I've never seen dark astral energy manifest in such a way.
I thought you said all Renans had dark astral energy inside of them.
Correct. However, what Shion exhibited was far beyond what any ordinary citizen could ever possibly possess. And let me be clear. I do not intend to cast doubt on Shion, or her motives. Nevertheless, I cannot shake the feeling that there's more to all of this than what we currently know. Do you disagree?
down on the pebbles.
It's obvious that people used to go through here in order to get to the other realms.
You think Volron really did seal it off to keep it hidden then?
Seems like it. Those soldiers we encountered might have known about it, chosen to hide out here.
But with the entrance collapsed and exposed, they must have been forced to come out of hiding.
Cool. Ah!
Coming through!
You're mine! Strike!
Really?
Stay calm.
Your wings will save you from me.
We got flyers! All yours!
Hold up! Is this as valuable as I think it is?
Could be. Oh, I'm dumb.
I see supplies and other signs people were living here. Even Zoogle cages.
Definitely looks like this is where the remnants of Volron's forces hold themselves up. Yeah.
They were hiding in a place like this all along.
Hi, how you doing?
Get lost!
Dragon Swarm!
Oh, violent darting wind. Carve radiant here!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope I wasn't free.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever. I've never seen...
Together, that wasn't even a problem.
Looks like some solid equipment.
Okay, pardon me, coming through.
That enemy looks strong. I bet it'll be worth our while to fight it.
If we can avoid it, we can avoid it. We can't
This
avoid
one will be difficult to predict.
I'll take you all off!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope I wasn't free.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Shion actually look flustered.
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Fascinating. We love punching boulders here.
Hey, that looks pretty good.
Excuse me, pardon me. Don't worry about it.
How much do they have to steal from us to be satisfied?
What's that thing's purpose anyway? Some kind of siphon that sends the astral energy the Lords harvested to Lenegus?
Not as far as I'm aware. That said, it has become evident since the forming of the Renis Alma, as well as other recent events, that my insight may be thin. I would, as I believe the saying goes, take what I say with a grain of salt.
No, Halim.
At the very least, I believe we can assume that whoever is pulling the strings behind the scenes has had this in the works for quite some time.
Why's that?
The people on Lenegus may have plenty of resources at their disposal, but not even they could prepare something like that in a mere month. Something of that magnitude takes considerable time, as well as a predetermined goal in mind.
Then what was the crown contest for?
At this stage, I think it was but one step in the greater scheme we see unfolding before us. What that scheme is exactly, I haven't a clue. For now, I believe we should keep moving. The path continues. It's quite possible it will take us all the way to Cislodia.
Agreed. Let's keep moving.
Shion's thorns are dark astral energy.
Rinwell, are you worried about Shion?
Of course I am. But I don't know how to talk to her about it.
You and me both.
Come to think of it, what happened to those 4 lights that fell from Lenegus along with the wedge?
All 4 of them scattered in different directions. It's anyone's guess where on Dana they might have landed.
I'm not entirely sure, but it seemed like those lights may have all been different elements of astral energy.
So even though they're using the wedge to siphon off energy from Dana, they're shooting it back down to Dana as well? Why?
I don't know. It all happened so suddenly.
Hopefully it's not a sign of some new threat we'll have to deal with.
But if that red woman has anything to do with the wedge, then what could that light...
It's weird, isn't it?
Oh?
The Red Woman. Shion and Dohalim said they'd never seen her before Pelagian.
Are you saying they're lying to us?
No, it's not that I think they're lying, just... there has to be some reason for it, right?
Well, one thing the two of them have in common is that they're both Renans.
Okay, you two. Put a pin in it for now. I know that we're in the dark about a lot, but for now, let's focus on getting through these mountains.
Yeah, of course.
Discourteous, aren't you?
Dragon Swarm!
It would appear I attract too much attention.
Wow! Look what I just found.
And we're moving. And we're moving.
It sure got cold all of a sudden after we passed the peak.
Law,
Yeah, we're getting close.
little help!
Dragon Swarm! We did it!
As impressive as always.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever. I've never seen Shion actually look flustered.
We got flyers!
I've got this! Let a marksman handle her!
Nice. No scratches on my shield or my armor.
We made it to Cislodia.
We need to get that bridge down somehow.
It looks like we can control it from our side. Let's take a closer look.
Are you okay, Law?
Hmm? Oh, fine. Just thinking. The past is a real downer. That's why I'm focused on what's ahead of me. You?
Yeah. I'm going to stay the path. As long as we're all together, I know we'll be all right.
Same here. Now let's get moving.
Yep.
Oh, good. We can cross through here.
Stop! Who goes there?
My name is Alphen. We're not your enemies.
Did you say Alphen? Slap me silly, it really is you!
Forgetting someone?
Rinwell! Oh, glad to see you're doing okay.
What are you guys doing out here?
We're patrolling the realm. Never thought I'd bump into you all on my rounds, though. Heck, enough of me, though. What's going on up in the sky? Feels like the world's gonna end.
That's what we're trying to figure out ourselves. And as it happens, I've got a big favor to ask.
I had an inkling that's why you'd come back, as soon as I saw you in the distance. So you beat all the lords, huh? Damn, you really must be a hero.
I just did what I had to. So can you send anybody to help Ganeth Harros?
I think we can help out. I'll hit up the other resistance groups and rustle up some support. I doubt they'll have a problem sending people once I mention it's you who's asking.
Thanks. If you guys can help out, that'll give us a chance to do something about that wedge out in the ocean.
Yeah, I think that's something only you guys can handle. Speaking of which, that thing's out in the middle of the ocean. How do you even plan on reaching it?
By boat. We're about to go look for one.
No rest for the weary, I see. Hey, what happened to that mask you used to wear?
It's a long story. Let's just say I lost it.
I sure never expected to run into Bregan.
Cyslodia's probably in good hands with him.
Yeah. Now we can focus on finding a ship.
It's freezing.
It's always like this in Cyslodia.
Menencia was most fortunate, I see.
You good?
A boat, huh? Where are we gonna find one of those? It's not the kind of thing people just leave lying around.
Especially not Renans. For an Imperial power, they never have shown much interest in maritime expansion. Still, I dare say there should be the odd small vessel here and there.
All well and good, but that structure's slap bang in the middle of the ocean. A fishing boat won't cut it.
Let's just try to find one that won't sink us halfway out, yeah? Not that it needs to be a huge galley like Almadria's or anything.
Just as well, since we've passed, let's see, literally 0 huge galleys.
All I know is we have to reach that thing in the ocean. Anything that might work, I say we try it. Thanks to Bregan, it seems like Ganeth Harros should be in good hands, at least.
I wonder who they'll send to look after things. It'll be someone from one of the other resistance organizations, no doubt.
They could do a whole lot worse than someone like Doc. The knowledge of medicine would go a long way there.
Wait, do you mean the old guy back in Calaglia? Ganeth Harros would be one hell of a trek from there. He'd have to get here first.
My brother's old second-in-command, Legil, would be a perfect fit, too. Pity she'll probably still have her hands tied up with work in Menencia.
Mahag Sar will be the same story. They won't have the manpower as it is, let alone enough to start exporting it.
Man, everyone's still struggling to get back on their feet, huh?
Knowing Bregan, he'll probably take things into his own hands. He seems like the kind of guy who enjoys a challenge.
Thinking back on it now, though, it does kind of make you realize just how many people we've gotten to know in each of the places we visited.
That's true. And each and every connection we forged is priceless. Anyway, we can trust Bregan to take care of things from here. Come on, let's focus on the task at hand.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
I feel like somebody's watching us.
That's fine.
Maybe there's someone around here who needs our help.
No need to worry about it.
if it ain't the Blazing Sword and his merry crew.
Mahavar? I can't believe you're still alive.
Course I am! If you landlubbers can make it out of that sinking ship alive, ain't no reason an old sea dog like me wouldn't too!
Yeah, but that wave hit hard. I'm glad to see you're okay. Sorry we put you in so much danger back there.
All water under the bridge at this point. You helped make one of my life's dreams come true. The ship, on the other hand, she took a bit of a beating, though, I'll admit.
Really? What happened to it? It looks fine to me on the outside.
She's fine now, but she was in rough shape when I made it back here. Engine chamber gave up the ghost. Without a lot of options, I decided to talk to the head honcho of the Dark Wings and see if he could help at all. And wouldn't you know it, Crazy Fool sent over Renin engineers to help. Can you believe it?
Renin?
Yep. Said they came from Menancia. They were real professionals. Did what they needed to and didn't give me guff or anything. I was damn near floored.
So they did the work themselves. Good on them.
Well, they did a bang-up job, because she's better than ever now. Speaking of which, I take it she's why you're here?
Yes. We need to get out on the ocean, and fast. When can we set sail?
Give the man a minute to think it over, Alphen. He hasn't even said yes yet.
It's all right, little lady. I'm a man of the sea. I'll gladly help. Hop aboard, folks.
This thing already looked plenty huge from afar. Seeing it up close makes it really hit home.
I didn't expect the journey to go so smoothly. I figured the Renins would send something to sink us.
Maybe they didn't think we had the nerve to come.
Somehow I kinda doubt that.
It's entirely possible they don't see us as a threat.
What do you mean?
That they think they're beyond our reach. Still, this structure is quite the unusual sight. Truth be told, never seen anything like it.
You're right. It doesn't look like the buildings on Lenegis at all. Or like any Renin structure for that matter.
It's weird. It doesn't feel like the kind of thing that has people inside either. Yeah, it's definitely something creepy. What the hell is it even made of?
I don't know. It's not mechanical or biological, but it's definitely alive in some way.
Shion?
I'm okay. It's nothing.
Well, what do we do now?
We have to stop this thing from siphoning off all of Dana's astral energy. That means finding the core and smashing it to bits.
Okay, but look at the size of it. I don't know if we'll find the core just wandering around.
Good point. Can anyone get a read on the astral energy around us? Any kind of a sign?
There's a rather enormous flow of energy moving directly upwards. If we wish to follow it, we'll have to do some climbing.
Rinwell?
Over there?
Hey, what's up with you?
Huh?
You okay? What happened?
I'm not sure. When I was reaching out to the astral energy, I thought I heard a voice.
A voice?
Yeah. I couldn't make out any words, but it sounded like it wanted me to come to it.
This seems like a trap, right?
It's not a trap.
How can you tell?
Listen, I don't know why, but when it spoke to me, I knew it wasn't hostile.
What do you think?
It could well be a trap. However, it's also our only real option short of wandering aimlessly about.
Let's trust Rinwell on this.
You sure?
Yeah.
It beats the alternative, I guess. What did I say? Sheesh, it's like walking on eggshells around here.
Sometimes you have to choose your words more carefully, Law.
Huh? Oh, right.
Completely done. Done. Oof. 1. 2. 2 more? 2 more. Oh, you got so many. You got so many. Why do you have so many?
Stay sharp. We're going in.
Yep. Let's go up to the creepy place. Shouldn't be a problem, right?
I see that the interior of the wedge is every bit as strange and unusual as the exterior. Intriguing.
If I didn't see it come from Lenegus, I wouldn't believe it was Renan. Just what's with this place?
Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
all twisty and lumpy. Whatever it's all for, I'm stumped.
Just a little bit of creepiness. Do I know how to
This
get...
is all Dana's astral energy.
Are you saying the Renans are funneling it through here to send to Lenegus?
Sure looks like it.
Out of our way!
Chaotic figure.
Damn it! Bloody howling! We've turned the tables on him.
There are still more left.
Right. No time to hold back. I'm ready!
Winds of heaven!
Together, that wasn't even a problem. This seems strange. Like it should be among creatures you'd find in a forest.
Cut it out! I don't need to hear that. It's gotta be man-made, right?
Were it so, it would not be any easier to predict. Remain vigilant.
This retreat is no what's good for you.
Dragon Force! Come and face me! Dragon
I thought you were going to wreck the place.
I'm not
Whatever
nearly
you do,
finished
just
yet.
stay away
And
from
I'll
the
provide
force!
assistance however I can.
As impressive as always.
And here I hope that wasn't...
Didn't even break a sweat.
Right, here goes!
Hear my call!
Strike!
Elusive deity.
Lightning on!
I shall ensure you survive this.
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that wasn't true.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Shion actually look flustered.
Hold up. Is this as valuable as I think it is?
I'm just going up somewhere. I don't know where I'm actually going. I'm telling you, if I'm being perfectly honest. This is not important. For
As impressive as
point A
always.
to point B.
Here I hope that was included.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Xion actually look flustered. Well, looky here.
Oh, hey, dinosaur. Oh, no, that's not the dinosaur. That's the doggy. Wuggy. Oh, that's just treasure. Oh, right over here. Oh Lord, what was that?
We've sure climbed up a long way, haven't we?
Watch your step ahead.
Fine.
With no fencing in place, it would be quite hazardous to fall.
Do you guys want to fall? Kind of running. No, I'm going to the top. I don't want to fall. Oof. This is really gnarly. I'm sure there's a lot of interesting stuff here. I don't quite need to explore it.
You fight better at a distance. Further away, the better. You and I both.
Didn't even break a sweat.
Treasure chest. Hello, guys. Ah!
No choice. Dragon Swarm! No dawn shall break this night.
Dance in the wind! Lunar corruption!
Penumbra! Severing
It'll
Wave!
body slam us into next week!
Dragon Swarm!
Radiant
Swallow Blade! Tempest! Severing Wave! Calendar of Devastation!
Do it!
Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw!
We work well together.
Like a finely timed blow.
Totally! In an instant! Impact Claw!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Phew, we'll get there. Oh, man. Come on, guys. Ah!
Get lost!
Take this! Dragon Swarm!
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
As impressive as always.
And here I hope that was complete.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Xion actually look flustered.
You're going. Where are you going, Alpha?
Elusive Deity! Rotating Pile Driver!
We can really make weapons with this?
I suppose. How far up are we going? Nope. So many things in the way. There we go. Oh. Okay. That's a little rude.
Out of our way!
They do make you fight somebody, though.
Elusive Deity! I'll smash you! Rotating Pile Driver!
flattened.
They smite with black severing wind! Raging storm! Rising rocket! Slash! Swirl blade! Dragon swarm! Dragon swarm!
Do it!
River!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Got it!
Well done.
Negative
Do it!
divine! Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished. That's some power you wield.
You're the one who did the heavy lifting.
Yay.
Here?
It's here?
Yes. All the energy flowing through the wedge comes together and collects here.
Is that thing a Zoogle? Holy crap, it's huge!
A central core and a guardian?
Once we beat that thing, it'll stop the wedge from taking in any more astral energy, right?
It seems we're in for a fight regardless.
Here it comes. Stay sharp, everyone!
Is there no end to what the Renans can cook up?
I don't know if that's machine or what, but I do know it's pissing me off!
Watch yourself. There is no knowing what it is capable of.
Any other wisdom you want to pass along?
We've turned the tables on him.
There are still more left.
Right! No time to hold back.
My turn! I'm not done!
Ow!
Strike! Dragon swarm! Thunderous devastation!
Amazing! Not long to go now.
We couldn't have done it without you, though.
Thanks!
Kisara! All yours, Kisara!
Is it over?
What the hell is going on?
Ridwell! It's too dangerous! Stay back!
Ridwell!
What's going
Whatever it was, I heard it.
As did I. I'm not sure I'd call it a voice, but it was there.
What in the world just happened?
All kinds of crazy stuff happening, huh?
That was Dana's astral energy we just encountered. And I think what we heard might have been its voice?
You're saying astral energy has a mind of its own?
I haven't the slightest idea. But do you remember what happened when we fought Balsef back in Calaglia?
You mean when that fire monster came out of the spirit vessel?
Exactly. There was such a huge overflow of astral energy, it caused a monster to spawn and take physical form. Maybe the same thing happened here, just with way more astral energy and a bigger monster.
Does that mean if you gather enough astral energy, it can become sentient or take a physical form?
That's what I'm guessing, but it's just speculation. Master cores are able to hold a lot more energy than a spirit vessel, but we still haven't seen anything like that happen in our dealings with them.
That being said, there may be a mechanism of sorts inside Master Cores and spirit vessels that prevents such reactions.
That fire monster. I remember how it only appeared after Balsef's spirit vessel broke.
Then the reason Rinwell was able to sense all that astral energy earlier must have been because it was too much for that Zoogle to contain by itself.
So, then where do you think the Zoogle went? All that energy and poof, it's gone. The Zoogle with it. Does that sound weird to anyone?
Indeed it does. However, in order for us to move our hypothesis forward, we will need to gather more evidence first. On that note, how are you holding up, Rinwell?
I just can't work out why. Why the voice reached out to me first.
Rinwell?
I can't help but wonder if it's because of my heritage that I was the one to hear it. Sorry. That's a strange thing to think, isn't it? Anyway, we should get going, right? We need to make sure the energy flow has actually stopped.
Are we gonna have to take this winding path all the way back down, too?
Yeah, but if anything, it should be easier than the climb up.
Really?
Of course.
Well then.
Actually, I've heard it's easier to develop muscle aches when going down.
Seriously?
Come on. You're really gonna make me go down like that? Come on, let me down.
Everything all right?
Oh, press the wrong
Kinda
button.
looked like you wanted to get something off your chest.
Huh? Oh,
Or not, you know, whatever.
yeah. You know,
Yeah?
sorry, never mind. Just forget it.
You want to try being a little less cryptic, maybe? Yeah, all right, jeez. Sorry for taking an interest.
Stop it! It's okay, Hootle! Sorry. I guess I still don't really know how to put it into words.
Nah, that's fine, no rush. It might help you to talk about it, though.
I'll keep that in mind. And thanks.
Oh, dang it.
Gotta break through.
I'm trying to get through.
No escape. It's over.
Stay calm. I shall provide assistance.
It's like trying to keep up with a wall! Water, hear my call!
Here I come. I can't lay a finger on it.
I prefer it that way.
Just watch and see.
My fists are crushing it out there.
Am I allowed to just jump down? Would have been very fun. Excuse me, pardon me, little jellyfish things.
want to.
You're finished! You're mine! Damn it!
You make quick work of them.
I have plenty of
I've been hit by something!
so even a master
Your arms are really not feeling so great.
A wailing banshee of lightning.
Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
Fall down. Please. Would it be too high then? Is that why? Can I please just... Thank you. Where's that teleporter at? And why wasn't there? Maybe there was one up there. Just didn't see it. There we go.
It looks like that beam of light has stopped.
Then is it safe to say we've avoided oblivion for the time being?
I can still sense a faint glimmer of energy, though. It hasn't completely dispersed.
You can tell? Rinwell, your senses seem a lot sharper than before, don't they?
And you said you heard that voice, right?
I guess. Maybe. I don't know. I don't feel bad, though.
If trace amounts, however small, do remain, then it leaves us no choice. We must destroy the entire structure.
What do you suggest? We bring it down piece by piece?
Once that's done, what do we do then?
We go to Lenegus. Even if we could destroy the whole wedge like he suggested, it'd only buy us time. The fact they sent this thing down tells me they're not giving up this planet without a fight.
There's also the matter of the Renis Alma. Its circumstances still have yet to be truly resolved.
But how do we even get to Lenegus?
What if we hotwire one of their starships? There's gotta be one on the planet somewhere, right?
Starships are only seen on Dana at the start and end of the Crown Contest. Otherwise, they remain on Lenegus. Believe it or not, we Renans down here aren't quite as free to come and go as one might think.
Great. Well, I'm out of ideas then. We definitely don't have the tech to build a starship. And even if we found a Renin who'd help, who knows how long that'd take?
Yeah. Waiting for a starship to come down from Lenegus would probably be quicker than that.
Wait. Alphen, when you came down from Lenegus, it had to have been in a starship of your own, right?
Right. Oh, of course.
You can't be serious. That was 300 years ago. There's no way it's still gonna work.
But Alphen didn't wake up until a few years ago. That means it had to have still been functioning that whole time to keep his body preserved.
Indeed. You wouldn't happen to remember where you landed, would you?
My memories around where I parked are still a little hazy, but I do know that I woke up in Calaglia, so chances are it's still in the area. At least it's a place to start. Luckily, that realm's my old stomping ground, so I should be able to get us some help finding her.
This is it.
Yeah. As long as Lennigus stands there, there's no avoiding it.
So what's this help in Calaglia you're planning to enlist?
My buddy Nath. If anyone there knows something, I figure it's him. But first, we need to catch a boat and get back to the mainland. Our first port of call is Ulzebek.
Back where you first started out.
Yeah, along with my dad.
You okay? You don't look so good.
I think I'm just a little seasick, that's all.
Liar.
Huh?
You heard me. You've never been good at hiding your emotions, Shion.
Excuse me? Just what do you... No. You're right. I'm sorry.
Is it about Alphen?
No. Not just him.
Something you can't talk about?
Rinwell, I'm not like the rest of you.
Of course you are! No, I'm serious. Back when we first met, I think maybe then I did think we were different. But now I know that isn't true. You and I are the same, Shion. We're alike in more ways than you know. If any of us is different, it's me. I'm a Danon who can use magic. I may be the last. My family and I have been living in hiding as long as I can remember.
Everyone has their own pain that can be hard for other people to understand. I saw the two of you talking and thought you could use a third wheel. So, here I am. Sorry.
If anyone's the odd one out here, it's me. Believe me, you don't want to listen to my problems.
Want me to go?
I didn't say that.
I get that you must have a lot circling around that head of yours. And that's okay. Whatever's worrying you right now, you're allowed to worry about it. And you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. I know I'm not a Renin like you, or a mage like Rinwell. I'm not a sovereign maiden or lord. I'm just a Danon who used to be a slave. But regardless of all that, I'm here for you, Shion.
That goes for me too. We all want to be there for you. Me and Hootle and even the boys. I promise. I mean, that is what friends are supposed to do, right?
I said this to Alphen, and now I'll say it to you. You're not alone in this.
Thank you. Rinwell. Kisara.
And right on cue, I think I should make my way back and lie down for a bit. My battle with this ship continues.
Yeah, I better head back too. We wouldn't want the guys thinking they're in charge. Can you imagine Law at the helm? Who knows what kind of trouble we'd get into?
Still, if that's true, then it's all the more reason I have to do this.
Aw, are you tired, Hootle?
You sure he's not just trying to hide from us?
All right, Something is definitely up with Shion.
Yeah, something big by the looks of it. I've never seen her so serious.
So, do you think we should say something to Alphen then?
I was wondering the same thing myself, but then it occurred to me. Whatever this thing on her mind is, it's probably the last thing in the world she wants people to know about. If she's trying this hard to keep it secret, then it's not really our place to go telling people before she's ready.
Yeah.
I can't tell them. There's just no way I could, right? What am I supposed to do?
Oh, button. All these side quests.
Ah, Calaglia. Feels like it's been ages.
And wasn't Zephyr with us too?
Dad.
Hey, chin up! This is your hometown!
Oh, just one thing after another, and it all falls on my head too.
Hey, Nath.
What? Can't you see I'm... Alphen?
Looks like you have your hands full.
As much as ever. As if I wasn't busy enough putting down the last remnants of Renan rule, I'm up to my ears in Danon disputes. And then, to top it all off, that thing had to come crashing down from out of the sky.
Pretty sure we've heard this somewhere before.
But enough about my problems. What can I help you with?
Yeah, we're looking for an old Renan starship. You wouldn't happen to know any around these parts, would you?
A starship? What do you need one of those for?
To get to Lenegis.
Lenegis? Are you out of your damn mind?
Possibly.
Believe it or not, it wouldn't be the craziest thing we've done recently.
Well, I believe it.
True,
Well,
actually.
either way, I'm afraid I haven't heard anything about a starship.
Then do you have any historical records by chance?
Sure, we've got stacks of old records.
Mind if we take a look at them?
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Nath.
I read through all of the records, but I only found a single line that might point to what we're looking for. It mentions a rock that shot across the sky and landed past the mountains. The event was recorded just before the first Renan invasion.
And you think that might be the starship?
I don't know. There was nothing else in the records that came even close. It looked like it was someplace called Berg, but maybe I'm reading it wrong.
Berg?
That ring any bells for you?
Yeah, that's one of the biggest volcanoes in Calaglia. I was just there recently, investigating a report of a meteor someone saw.
Another meteor in the same area? Really?
I wonder if it could have been one of those lights that shot out of the wedge.
All the more reason to check it out. Can you tell us how to get there?
The old Zion mine is up that way. One of the veins we abandoned connects to the volcano. Go ahead and use that. But you should be careful.
Huh?
I don't know if it has anything to do with the meteor. There's a giant Zoogle running riot in there. Never seen anything like it.
A Zoogle, huh?
I turned back as soon as I caught sight of the thing, so I can't tell you much more. Just be real careful if you head out that way.
No worries. We will be extra careful.
All right.
I guess...
Right.
I didn't like the sound of that monster Nath was talking about one bit.
Well, we have to press on. We're going through Zion Mine to Berg Volcano. Let's move.
Wait, this isn't the right. Wait, is this the right? Oh my god. Stop. Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. I was like very confused at first.
You guys want to rest here?
No, we're good. I pressed the wrong button again.
Everything okay with Hootle, Rinwell? He seems kinda out of spirits.
It must be the heat getting to him. We don't get these kind of temperatures back in Cislodia.
Galaglians born and raised here struggle with it too, so it's no surprise.
Aha! So that's why his plumage is so white. He was born in a winter wonderland.
Actually, Dan and owls absorb the astral energy of whatever land they're raised in. Where they're born doesn't affect their appearance at all. But that's not why he's white. The real reason is that he's still just a baby. Whew!
You mean their plumage changes color depending on where they grow up? Weird.
And with all this traveling we've been doing, it wouldn't surprise me if his wings ended up looking like a colorful painting.
I think he suits his snowy complexion. It'll feel strange to see him change.
How awesome would it be if his head and wings were different colors? And his stomach and sides, like a map of our travels! Ow, lay off, will ya? So much for the heat making him docile!
You've only yourself to blame for that one. Hootle takes pride in his appearance, you know.
Fascinating. An appreciation of aesthetic beauty in an owlet so young.
Dohalim, I think you've drawn his attention.
Why are we so zoomed in?
It's quite hot here. The climate feels different from Menancia's.
It's gotten much cooler since leaving town, though.
Does that mean eyes were burning holes in us?
Okay. Fascinating take from that.
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Something always feels odd.
So we're back in the Zion Mine tunnels. Who would have thought we'd be going through this place again? This is where you and I first fought together.
And also the first time we touched, as I recall.
Wait, really?
Yes, really.
So this path is supposed to take us out to Berg Volcano?
We're not gonna see any lava burst out in front of us or anything, are we?
Don't get so paranoid you let a rock fall on your head, Law.
Hey, it is volcano. Who knows what we'll see? See, look, lava. Woo!
Ugh, so hot.
Well, yeah. We've reached the inner portion of Berg Volcano.
We need to find that starship, and fast.
Oh, that's a dead end. Yep, dead end. Can't see the other way.
can make plants grow instantly? What if we use this for fruits and vegetables?
I'd rather not be our party's fertilizer. Thank you very much.
Oh, good.
My face is starting to sting. And my throat feels super parched.
Here, have some water. Just make sure you don't drink too much.
Thanks.
You want some too, Shion? Oh, wait. I bet you're hungry more than anything, aren't you?
I'm fine, thank you very much.
Okay. Picking a direction and going. That is the best way to solve this. That is the dead end. Where am I going?
It's crazy to see rocks melt before our eyes.
Watch where you're going, everyone. If you fall, there'll be nothing left of you.
Exactly. So don't try anything funny.
I didn't know you had that sort of trick up your sleeve, Dohalim. I would have figured rocks and plants would be too different for you to handle both.
Not necessarily.
Hey, you.
What the hell is that thing?
Probably that monster Nath warned us about, if I had to guess.
Do you think this might have been where one of those lights that shot out of the wedge landed?
But why this location? If the purpose of the wedge is to harvest Dana's astral energy.
We can figure that out later. If that thing gets into town, it's going to cause chaos. We need to take it down and move on. Let's go! This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Here it comes! Focus!
On your toes, everyone.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
Suddenly turning tail doesn't seem so ridiculous.
Why? Are you scared?
Me? Are you?
Do you even have to ask? Of course I'm scared.
Focus up before we become that thing's lunch.
It's summoning Zoogles?
Take care of them while keeping an eye on it!
Dragon Swarm!
Demon Lash!
Water! Clear my car!
It's over!
Fred! There you go! Don't let them hear evil!
Freeze Lancer!
I'm not done!
Elusive G is a thrill performance.
Totally! In an instant! Impact Block! We work well together.
Like a finely timed ball.
I'm ready! Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis!
Here come more!
We'll just have to keep fighting.
They're surrounding us! Confiscating! Ready!
Strike! Take this!
The enemy wields art too.
You'll soon see about that!
With the earth! On your knees!
You attack without resting.
Because I can't afford to hesitate.
Not against the worthy opponent.
You fight better at a distance. The further away, the better. You and I both.
Where'd it go? Hello?
Impact block!
There! One more! Mega break!
Take it!
Annihilation! Wasp
You're finished!
break! Not so smug now!
Ow.
It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
Everyone all right?
We won't surrender.
Yep.
We won't retreat. Not yet.
Whatever you do, just please stay safe.
Don't suffer in silence.
I'm in your...
How are we supposed to take on something so big?
I'll handle it.
Alphen!
Watch and learn. That's enough! Go back down!
Everyone okay?
Yeah, I think so.
That thing scared the pants off me.
It felt like it had a different aura than other Zeugles, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't like the one that Almadria sicked on us either.
Its elemental astral energy variance was out of this world. It was like fighting a lord.
I guess it's safe to assume that if it came out of the wedge, it must have played some part in helping harvest astral energy. But what?
Perhaps a living spirit vessel? It's plausible, given the location. Or it may be part of a new force dispatched to regain control of Dana.
If we assume that monster was one of the 4 beams of light, we must have prevented something from taking place here.
I'd like to think so, knowing how much grief it gave us. But at least with that out of the way, we can keep moving forward now. Let's go. Hey, I'm pretty lucky.
A key for me.
What do you know? Another big fire monster with nothing better to do than get in our way.
I wonder where the rest of those lights ended up landing. It looked like they were pretty scattered.
Well, whatever they're after, let's just hope none of them are anywhere near a city. An ambush on civilians is the last thing we need.
Well, no rest for the wicked, right? Though with 1 down and 3 to go, it sounds like our headache is just beginning.
I thought you liked the opportunity to flex your muscles.
Against those things? It's not like I have a death wish. Besides, we've already got our hands full saving the world. Dying stupidly won't be much help to the cause.
Yeah, I guess I can't argue with that logic. Sorry.
Hey, is that it over there?
Hello. What are you doing here? How'd you even get here?
Alphen?
Did you remember something?
No, but I have seen this starship before. This is it. This is the ship I traveled in when I escaped from Lenegis.
Three centuries later, and it's no worse for wear. I'll take a look at the internals.
Damn! I'm amazed it still works at all after all this time.
The past meets the present. I really am from a different time and place.
Yeah, but you've got us now, Alphen.
Not only that, but you've helped out so many people, too.
Law's right. Rinwell too. You're one of us now. No more carrying the weight of history on your shoulders. You're a part of this world.
Right. Thanks, you guys.
How's it look?
It should fly. All internal systems seem to be operating. However, considering how long it's remained inactive, I suspect it will take some time before it's ready for takeoff.
How much time are we talking here?
Starship mechanics are not what I'd call my forte, so I'd rather not hazard a guess.
So we've just got to sit around here and wait? I'm terrible at waiting.
That's because you're a child. Oh, but how about we use this time to prepare and gather supplies for the trip?
Good idea. Who knows when we'll be back from Lenegis once we leave? We should prepare ourselves for every possible scenario before we go.
Let's try not to stay away too long. I'd hate for anything to happen to the place while we're gone.
Either we race ahead, or we take due precaution to ensure we have no regrets. I shall leave it up to you as to how we proceed, Alphen.
Works for me.
It's funny, isn't it?
What is?
All this. When we first started this thing, did you ever imagine we'd be going to Lenegis? After all, this is the sort of thing I was rebelling against when I ran away from home, right?
I'm sure Zephyr would be proud if he knew what his son was doing right now.
And a little shocked, too.
We're defying the order of things that have persisted for 300 years. Deep down, I knew our journey would lead to confronting Lenegis.
Yeah, you maybe, but you're a Renan. The rest of us can barely even picture what it means to leave Dana.
No offense to Shion and Dohalim, but it's worth remembering we're heading into enemy territory.
No offense taken, and this is no picnic for me either.
Remember, our aim is to ensure that both Lenegis and the Renan homeworld leave Dana alone for good. I don't think we'll be able to avoid a fight.
Is there no way we can talk them into leaving us alone?
Talking?
The people of Lenegis?
I mean, you
Sure.
could try.
I mean, we found a way to make it work with Shion and Dohalim, right? And it's not just us. If places like Menancia can do it, then why can't we?
Because there are still many of my kind who believe it was right and natural that Rena reigns over Dana. There are those on Lenegis who have never stepped foot on Dana. I doubt whether they'd even listen to Danans.
Look, none of us want to fight. But these are the same people who fired that wedge down on Dana. What happens next is on them.
Right. We're not going to sit back and wait for them to oppress us again.
Right.
Don't forget, there's also a good chance the Red Woman is somewhere on Lenegis. And wherever she is, we should find the Renaissance too.
That's right. If we can take it back, then Shion can finally get rid of her thorns. Shion?
Huh? Yeah.
There's something very odd about her thorns. Also, how is everybody just falling asleep like this? It seems a little odd. Like, that seems uncomfortable.
Where? Shion?
flinch.
Where'd Shion go? How could she just go off?
Oh, you know.
Shion. Shion! It's your thorns? But why? You okay? Just now, it looked like you used your maiden powers to suppress your thorns. You can really do that?
Stay out of my way.
Wait a second. Are you planning to go alone?
Shut up!
Why would you do this?
I told you to shut up!
I won't let you.
I mean it.
I refuse to let you.
I won't tell you again. Move or I'll shoot.
If that's the case, then go ahead and shoot me!
Do you remember back when I was stabbed? By Volron?
Yeah. I thought for sure that he had killed you back there.
That wasn't the first time.
Huh?
The first time was when I was only a child. After that, no matter how often, I just couldn't die.
Couldn't die? So you're immortal? How's that even...
I believe you, Shion. But tell me how is something like that possible?
My thorns. They're me, but at the same time not. They're part of me. I have no idea why, but my thorns will never let me die. At least not before I'm meant to.
You can't die before your death?
When my thorns free themselves, it will be my death. I've seen it. A darkness that swallows up everything until nothing remains. It's a vision of oblivion I can't escape. I want to believe it's all just a bad dream. But no matter what I tell myself, I know it's not.
Yeah, but you... Wait. The whole reason you needed the Renaissance was to get rid of your thorns, right?
If I burn away what's inside, then what will happen to the rest of me? Right. Either way you look at it, I'm going to die. But if I am going to die, I figure I can at least take my thorns out with me. That's what I've been after this whole time.
That's why you turned your back on your fellow Renans and chose to fight with us, isn't it? And while we've all been fighting to keep on living, you have been with us fighting desperately to die.
That was the plan. But then I met all of you. And before I knew it, I didn't want to die anymore.
hope yet. We'll find a way to save you. There's still time to.
It's pointless.
Why?
Because the darkness won't just consume me. The truth is, it will consume all of existence as well. It was only a suspicion at first, but ever since the Red Woman triggered my maiden powers, I've been more certain than ever before. It was then that I finally came to realize my powers were holding my thorns in check the entire time. But they don't anymore. Not since Lenegis, when the wedge fell. Every day, I feel the thorn's power growing stronger inside of me. Pretty soon, I won't be able to hold them back anymore. And when that happens,
They will consume all existence.
And that's why you wanted to leave by yourself. You planned to find the Renis Alma on your own and sacrifice yourself to stop the thorns.
But that's... too much. It's way too much.
when this all began, I didn't care what happened to me or anyone else. And what happened to the Renans or the Danans didn't matter to me at all. I know I have to die, but I don't want to. Not now that I have this. I wish we had never met. Then I wouldn't have to feel this way.
Shion!
Alvin?
Living for the sake of dying is no better than being a slave. How can you endure this?
Alvin.
It's not fair. I don't care what anybody says. I won't let it happen. We can fight this. We'll fight until the end together. Isn't that what you said to me before?
Even if it should mean that it'll be the end of everything else, too?
Shion, what do you want? It's your decision, ultimately. But if you decide not to fight fate, I will. Even if I have to do it alone.
No, you won't be alone. I'll fight as well.
Count me in as well. I want to be a force for good, not hate.
And me too. I meant it with all of my heart when I told you before. Neither of you are alone in this at all.
You guys...
And I, for one, don't believe this venture is without hope.
Huh?
Shion is the descendant of a maiden from 300 years ago. Given the circumstances, it seems very likely that those events have some connection to her thorns. The true nature of which, I imagine we will discover as we make our way to Lenegis and uncover the truth of what's unfolding here.
I take it you mean we might find a way to get rid of her thorns and she'll live?
It's certainly possible. Though I suspect the nature of the Sovereign is connected somehow.
So be it. I've already lost everything I had once. And I won't let it happen again. Shion. No matter what happens from now on, we're right here with you. All of us are. You are not alone.
You guys. You're all so stubborn. Thank you, everyone. right now. In a little while longer, I just want to hold on to this dream. And most of all, more than anything else, I want to be with all of you. So let's go. On to Lenegis.
So sweet.
The end of the world. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I believe Shion is telling the truth. What about you?
As a friend, yes, I want to believe her. Everything that's happened seems to point towards some sort of great danger that's lurking ahead of us. Still, it's hard to fathom something that could usher outright doom to the world. That those really are the stakes we face.
No, I understand. Even Shion doesn't seem to know exactly what will happen to bring it all about.
We have so many pieces of the puzzle in our hands, so many clues, yet the complete picture eludes us.
So where do her thorns fit in then?
Well, I imagine they must sit at the very center of it all. You remember the voice we all heard while we were inside the wedge, don't you?
Yeah, I remember. It was the will of Dana's astral energy come to life. Or that's what we all thought.
Right. And from that, we're able to hypothesize how vast concentrations of astral energy can become sentient. Let's return to when we found Shion in Pelagian. When her thorns went wild, they contained far more astral energy than any mere Renin would normally have inside them.
So you think those thorns might be alive too? That their will is what keeps her from dying? But why would they want to destroy the entire world?
As for that, I really cannot say for certain. Its goals still remain a mystery. It may be a mere fluke that her maiden powers have been able to contain it thus far.
You know, I've noticed since we've met that you like figuring out riddles.
Can you blame me? When one realizes that the world they once thought to be true is but a mere facade, they can't help but seek the truth. Especially when that deception has led to others getting hurt.
Dohalim?
I imagine the remaining pieces of the puzzle that we seek rest somewhere within Lenegis. As for what the final picture will look like, who can say? I think it's best we not dwell on it too much for the time being.
Right.
Oh, double boxes again.
How you holding up?
Who, me?
Yes, you. You took a hit from those thorns again, didn't you?
Oh, that? That was nothing.
Compared to what Shion's going through, you mean? Still, even if you yourself might be willing to endure that kind of pain, that doesn't mean Shion wants to have to see you get hurt by her thorns, you know?
Yeah, I know. I'll be careful.
Shion doesn't know how lucky she is to have you around, you know? Dashing in to save her at the last minute.
Yeah, very funny.
I'm being serious. You went up and held her close like you still had that mask on, and you didn't even bat an eye. She really needed that. That's what I mean when I said you saved her. Just like you did with the rest of us.
I just want for Shion what we all have. The ability to touch someone without the fear of killing them. Those thorns have robbed her of the kind of everyday things we all take for granted. And it's not right.
You can say that again. It may be normal for us, but that doesn't make it any less special or important for her. I hope she gets what she wants. I have my own dreams, but a world without her, where she dies so we can all survive, isn't a world I want to live in.
Agreed. It's like more and more keeps getting taken from her, and I'm done with it. Can't sleep?
After everything we just heard, how could I?
Fair enough.
Shion's had to deal with so much on her own. Even when we were all laughing and celebrating, she just kept quiet and didn't say anything. I thought she was keeping her distance because of her thorns. That it was because she didn't want to hurt anybody by getting too close. I just figured that that was the type of person she was, you know? But it turned out to be none of that. All this time, she felt like she had to die and sacrifice herself for the greater good. But even then, she didn't think she could say anything to us about it.
I know.
She was so alone this entire time. How could I call her a friend and yet be so completely blind to everything she was going through?
I'm sure it made her happy, knowing you were there for her.
You really think so?
Yeah, I do. If she didn't think of us as friends, I don't think she could have ever opened up to us like that. You were a good friend to her before, and you'll be an even better one now.
Yeah, I really hope so. I want to be the best I can for her. When you think about it, we were all alone in our own way. But over time, we've all found ways to let each other into our lives. I hope Shion's able to do that one day too. No, I mean, I hope she's able to do that more. Lots and lots more. I think it'd be really nice if we could all just be there to support each other when it really counts. And forget about our grudges and pain.
Rinwell.
Did you know?
You mean about Shion?
Yeah, I didn't have the slightest idea. I mean, every once in a while I thought something seemed a little off, but I never could have imagined. It's like a completely different world was spinning around me and I couldn't even see it.
You and me both. I mean, I knew something was bothering her, but I could never quite figure out what it was.
You? But you're the one always looking out for her, aren't you?
That's what I thought. But in reality, I didn't understand it all. What I thought was helping and being there for her was actually just driving her into a corner.
At least you figured it out in time, though, right?
I don't think we're out of the woods yet. But yeah, you're right. We brought her back from the edge, and we're going to stop those thorns from taking her. No matter what.
Yeah, with all of us together, there's nothing we can't handle. Shion, the world, we can save everyone. And I mean it when I say we, Alphen.
I know. No lone wolfing it.
Hey, you're the expert on what my dad would say. Do you think he'd pat me on the back or tell me off?
Zephyr, I don't think that he'd have that much to say, to be honest. You're your own man now, Law. And you've already made up your own mind about what you want.
I guess he couldn't say anything even if he wanted to.
Law.
Sorry. I guess those of us amongst the living have enough problems to deal with, don't we? We'll need all our strength to save Shion. I'll probably end up worrying again at some point, but I guess I'll think it over more then. That okay?
Yeah, I think it is. Hey, you doing all right?
I seem to cause nothing but worry. As much as I try to look like I have things under control, everyone still worries about me.
You're not the only one.
Hey, do you remember the first time you said I was your friend?
No? When was that? Sorry, I can't remember.
That's okay. It came so naturally to you, I'm not surprised you forgot. I was different back then. The Danans were not even people to me, and I knew I would always be alone. But in that room with Deadheim, when you called me your friend, it just shattered the wall that I'd built up around me. Because until that moment, I'd only seen you as a means to an end. I thought of you as a way to use the blazing sword, and to obtain the Renis Alma. But after that day, one time became two. And before I knew it, you'd made a habit of calling me and Dohalim your friends. It didn't matter that we were Renins. You cared about us as you would any other people. Then, everyone else started to call me their friend too. To think of me as their friend. Before then, I never even dreamed I could have that. I didn't want to die and lose you all. But I also didn't want to live if it meant you would all die in my place.
Shion.
But then, I realized I'd only really been thinking of myself that entire time. After saying how I felt, and hearing what you all had to say, I finally understood that. Don't worry, it's okay. I'm not planning on dying anymore. I've met too many people along the way who I truly care about to give in now. So I'll fight. For Dana and for myself. I'll fight against my fate to preserve our future. And I'll win, come hell or high water. I don't know how we're going to do it, but I won't let the world end because of me.
It's going to be a long, hard road ahead, Shion. Our fight won't be over until everyone, both Danans and Renins, can finally live in peace. But I swear I'll be there with you until the very end.
Thank you.
Remember what we learned back in Calaglia? There's no wall so high that we can't break it down.
Yeah, I think you may be right about that.
Everyone well rested? Then let's go. We depart for Lenegis.
Heck yeah.
Well, it's the moment of truth.
This lady better hold together once we're up in the air.
Law, don't say that! You're going to jinx us!
Speaking of which, Alphen, this bucket of bolts got a name?
A name? You know, I'm not sure she ever had one. I never really thought about it.
Well, after all the trouble we went through to find her, we should give her one, right? I was thinking something like...
Fall Knights.
Huh?
It means owl in the ancient tongue. Literally, the one drawn to the skies.
I like it. Sounds perfect for our little escapade.
Not sure I'm completely convinced, but... Well, it's as good a name as any. From now on, she'll be known as the Fall Knights.
Okay, people. We have two goals. First, we need to get to Lenegis and make the Renins finally leave Dana alone. And then, we need to figure out the truth behind Shion's thorns and find a way to save her. Sound good? All right, then let's go.
You know, I can still hardly believe it.
Believe what?
I mean, just look at it. The whole of existence, crammed inside a tiny frame.
Now that you mention it, I guess you're right. It does look more like a painting than a living, breathing world.
From up here, all the struggles we've been through feel so insignificant.
Nothing like realizing how small you are to put everything into perspective. Kinda makes the differences between the Renans and the Danans feel pretty small too, huh?
How much longer until we reach Lenegis?
There are better ways to use your time than napping. We should take a moment to familiarize ourselves with the facilities on board before arrival.
Good idea. The starship may end up serving as our base of operations once we're down there. Think you'll be all right with the controls?
You mean the one set to automatic pilot? I dare say I'll manage. I'm basically just here to supervise.
In that case, she's all yours.
Everything okay, Shion? You seem a little different.
Different? Like in a bad way different?
No, not at all. You seem more driven lately, like you found a zest for life. It suits you.
We'll be going to Lenegis soon.
This must feel like a homecoming of sorts to you, huh? What was life on Lenegis like back then? You know, before you came to Dana.
Let's just say, I don't have many happy memories. I've had thorns my whole life, for as long as I can remember. They called it treatment, but in truth, they were just using me as a guinea pig for their research.
You mean, they experimented on you?
That's right. All I was to them was a riddle to solve. They poked and prodded me, trying to figure out what triggered my thorns or changed the form they took. Day in and day out, every single day, one test after another. I'm still surprised they didn't try to dissect me. The look they gave me whenever one of them touched my skin. How could I forget it? Reeling from the pain, like I was a monster or something. Some existence, huh? A blight on any I touched. Helplessly complicit in their pain. I thought things couldn't get any worse, but then they did. I started to have nightmares, visions of the coming apocalypse. Is it any wonder I lacked a cheery disposition? Unable to so much as touch another soul. Loneliness was my best friend. Sure, I survived, but with the knowledge that one day I'd be swallowed up by oblivion. And that's when it hit me. If I was going to die, then it should mean something. If I have to sacrifice myself to save the world, so be it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you relive that.
No, it's fine. I'm in a much better place now.
You say it's your destiny to die so that others can live. But why not the other way around? Why shouldn't we be the ones dying to save you?
Are you crazy? Why would you sacrifice your life for...
That's exactly my point. Why should you have to give up your life just because you drew the short straw in the destiny stakes? How is that even right? It's that logic that's used to justify slavery, as if some of us were just meant to be sacrificed. This struggle was never about saving only ourselves. But that doesn't mean we have to give up our own lives to save everyone else's either. If we're doing this to protect people, if we're doing this to save the world from destruction, then that has to include saving each other as well.
A world free of sacrifice. That's what you've been fighting for all along, isn't it?
Not just me. We're in this together, remember? This fight is yours too, Shion. If we're going to win, everyone has to win. There can be no room for losers in this fight. Now I see it. The true nature of our struggle.
A victory without losers. But that means that a Danon victory over Rena can't be the end. Do you think we can pull it off?
You bet we can pull it off. We have to. It's the only hope we have of things ever changing.
Yeah, you're right. No one's ever changed the future without aiming for the stars. We can do this. Together.
Okay, 1 second.
Is something wrong?
No. I was merely thinking how it had been 7 years, that's all.
You mean since you became a lord and left Lenegis? I guess even someone like you can get homesick, huh?
I am as prone to sentimentality as any other. Tell me, though, you too have a history with Lenegis. A traumatic one, no less. This trip will probably mean facing up to some difficult emotions. Doesn't that frighten you?
Well, it is a place where I took the lives of countless people. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. But I can't keep running forever. The past is what it is. There's no changing that. But the future's what we make it.
I see.
Dohalim?
Forgive me. I was wrong to pry. We have more pressing matters to address. Come back and speak to me when you finish looking around the ship.
Hey, Alphen, listen to this! So Law and I were just talking and...
Hey, shut up!
What's got Law all flustered?
Only that he's afraid of flying, the big baby. And after all that fuss he made about naming the ship, too.
Hey, I never said I was scared. I just think it's, you know, a little unsettling how we're going to be cruising through space in a glorified tin can. That's all.
It's a starship, dummy. That's what it's supposed to do. I don't think there's anything strange about it.
Well, maybe you're the one with the problem then.
Guys. I'm no expert, but I think we can trust Renin technology. It got me to Dana in one piece, remember?
Oh, that's a good point. If you think so, Alphen, it must be okay. Don't you agree, Law?
Hard to argue with that, seeing how you hitched a ride in one of these things before, Alphen. It's just wrong, okay?
You okay? Feeling airsick?
Actually, now that you mention it, not at all. These starships are a remarkably smooth ride, all things considered. Nothing like being at sea, thank goodness.
Glad to hear it. That device there caught your eye, huh?
I was just wondering what it is. It looks big enough to fit a person inside of it.
It's a healing pod. It fixes injuries and illnesses.
Oh, you don't say. Well, that should definitely come in handy if any of us get injured while we're down there. Alphen? Was it something I said?
No, I was just thinking back to when I escaped Lenegis, that's all. What with the ceremony and losing control, I was a total mess. Naori laid me inside here.
So, you're saying you got in this thing straight after escaping? But that... You were inside for 300 years?
Yes, it sounds crazy, I know. Don't even ask me why I sleep all that time.
That's definitely quite some lie-in, all right. But still, whether you meant to or not, I sure am glad that it's this century that you finally woke up in.
What do you mean?
With the amount of fighting we've done, we would have never made it this far without you. And not only that, but... Alphen, can you recall back to what it is that I said to you? Back when we left Menancia? About the dream of coexistence, and needing to learn what it entailed?
Of course. That's why you came with us, right? To learn what you couldn't at home.
Even in that time, I was well aware that what I was living was a lie. But at the same time, I also felt really compelled to fulfill my brother's wishes. I'll always remember him fondly. But the coexistence we're fighting for isn't for him. It's for people now, and those still to come. The world's bigger than just Menancia. My dream is for all Danans, wherever they might be, to be free. If I've learned anything on this journey, it's that. And the one who brought me along was you, Alphen. I'll forever be grateful to you.
Well, we're not out of this forest just yet. You should probably save your thanks. At least, until we've dealt with the Red Woman.
I know. But whatever we find when we get down there, I'm through looking the other way.
Kisara.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself, huh? Let's take things one step at a time.
Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making preparations to land.
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Trouble.
Kisara has a point. Now that I think of it, I don't know the first thing about Lenegis.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there, and they didn't exactly give me the grand tour.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operations in charge of the crown contest on Dana. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict hierarchy. Put simply, the strength of an individual's astral arts carries great weight.
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right? So people's positions are fixed at birth.
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors at play. But yes, that's basically the gist. As a result, family lines that churn out lords and their contenders wield disproportionate influence, and those lineages are treated as nobility.
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively an underclass, denied the right to descend to Dana even if they wanted to. Still, even the lowest rung on the Renin ladder is considered superior to being a Danon. Keep that in mind down there.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must have been pretty high up in the pecking order, right? What about you, Shion?
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns. They weren't exactly an invitation to high society.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone who says what they're thinking. Life's less complicated that way.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Lost blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into castes based on something arbitrary like arts is discrimination at its worst. As if such simplistic criteria could ever be a measure of someone's worth.
So this Red Woman, are we expecting to find her on Lenegis?
I would wager so. Lenegis is too deeply involved in all this to discard the possibility. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma being stolen from us in Pelegion.
If the Renis Alma is being used to exploit Dana, we need to take it back at all costs.
That Red Woman's got a lot to answer for. Just as well I've got a ton of questions.
We're about to land. The descent could be a little bumpy, so brace yourselves.
If there are clues about your thorns out there, Shion, we'll find them. There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the crown contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
Probably.
We may not have received a royal welcome, but I doubt our entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come all this way on a hunch that this Red Woman is here, right? And if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should start looking?
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know, hence my desire to find out. Fortunately, we just so happen to have a Sovereign in our midst. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as Lenegis would have required an immense source of power.
Then you think that source might have been the Renis Alma?
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Whatever the ceremony's purpose, if preparations are underway for it to be held once more, then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman. Hiding something of that worth in the residential quarters would only court trouble. In which case...
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere normally out of bounds. Is that it?
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years since I was made a Sovereign. You can't seriously think I'll be able to waltz right into the place after all this time.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us in, I say we give it a shot.
Shion's right. Who knows? We might even find a clue to her thorns while we're at it.
All right. It's not like we're swimming in leads, so let's try to track down the Forbidden Zone. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renins. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to...
Oh, one second. I like the green one, if I'm being perfectly honest.
live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renins actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
What in the world?
This being Renin territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But
Why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people...
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself, okay, Doe?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is true, it would seem the people of Lenegis are being kept in the dark about what's happening down on Dana.
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens, see what we can find out.
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion. We can't have a bunch of Danins poking their noses around.
Good idea. I think that's for the best.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to you two. The Danins among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if people freak out?
I shall explain it away by saying I'm leading you.
What are we, dogs?
Bark, bark, woof, woof.
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just... unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks. Someone's got an awful lot of questions to answer.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't be using all that energy for the crown contest.
Whatever their purpose, disrupting their siphoning process alone won't be sufficient. Not while we still don't know what their endgame is.
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get moving!
You heard him. We don't have time to stop and chat. Let's move.
Oh, dear me. What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Just look at the state of our city. Even the Zeugles have stopped heeding our commands. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness must have deemed it unnecessary for us to know. We have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Their eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Your lordship. Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time. Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
I mean, you know Fairy Circle. It's a little great. Fairy Circle? He even knows Fairy Circle though? It's kind of funny.
Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Hmm? Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course. Please forgive me. There's a wall that sprung up ahead of here, with what looks to be an entrance in it. I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly status?
Our lot in life is of little consequence. We are both Renin, first and foremost.
Oh, why yes, my lord. Thank you.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to this city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent, which would indicate that something's suppressing the truth, that Lenegis is under some kind of control.
Given everything that's happened to their city, the people here seem weirdly okay with it all.
Yeah, that one guy even said his Zoogle had stopped listening to him. If that's true, these people are in big trouble.
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. It's the way people have been conditioned. Their belief runs deep. Nothing happens devoid of a reason. To them, It's all part of the Sovereign's grand plan.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over Lenegis?
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in the middle doing his dirty work? Isn't Rena at least the same size as Dana? That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
The points you make are valid, though I confess I'd never given it much thought before. Here, the Sovereign's total authority is as natural as night turning to day. Come to think of it, I know nothing of the nature of how Rena itself is. Shion, have you ever been... No, forgive me. Have you met or crossed paths with, or even heard of someone who's actually made a visit to the homeland?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. In which case, I would imagine that... But no, surely not. Can it really be that no citizen of Lenegis has ever been there?
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be correct, it's possible that no one on Lenegis has ever laid eyes on the actual Renan homeworld itself. No one but the Sovereign, that is.
But what about trade and communication? There's got to be a flow back and forth, surely.
Not if the Sovereign is imposing his will on Lenegis single-handedly. It could be a one-way street.
But I thought you said that the Sovereign's all the way over on Rena. If that's the case, can he really rule directly over Lenegis from so far away? What if something were to happen to the city, like now?
I'm beginning to wonder what the nature of this Sovereign even is. Alphen said he was forced into the role, right? Just before the ceremony. But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler. So which one is it?
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign, though it would appear that the current ruler has gone silent. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. No, not just became, I was forced to. Me, a Danon. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 Sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. One whose job it is to rule, and the other for ceremonial purposes. We never did see Volron's body back in Ganath Haros. Is a new ceremony underway with Volron at its center this time? Could that be what's causing all this strange activity here?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are working together, do you? The ceremony can't go forward without the Renis Alma. The same one that the Red Woman stole.
There's something else the ceremony needs. A maiden. And unless there's another one out there aside from me...
Questions, questions, and yet more questions. Ones that it seems will remain unanswered until we can establish the Sovereign's identity.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off-limits to everyone but the Sovereign, that seems as good a place as any to start. For the sake of liberating Dana, too.
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. It could point us in the right direction. Let's go find it!
Ready, willing, and able.
I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Danon city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, Not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Yep.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all.
Look at
I'm
her
just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alvin and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame for this one.
I wasn't expecting them to take me so seriously. I'll go and have a word with them.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? They must have designed it to transform like this. But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that into consideration, to avoid all this chaos.
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, Lenegis was our home, nothing more. No one knew about all this. It makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes an outsider's eye to help you notice what you've been missing all along. This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah, you're right, Shion. I'm sure we will.
All right. Yeah, we're gonna be just fine. No problems here. None at all. None at all. Nope. Perfectly fine.